This is Dr. Z, ZILMD, and I hope this video finds everybody moving in the right direction, moving towards the right energy, and expanding themselves so that ultimately they can live their dreams. Isn't that the reason that we want to get healthy in the first place? So that we can then go and execute the soul mission, go and execute whatever it is that we're super interested in, what we're passionate about, and accomplish what we really feel is valuable enough to really make us a sacrifice, so that work no longer becomes work, but it becomes a labor of love, as the saying goes. So I'd like to wish everybody peace, power, prosperity, and most of all love. Let's start this off with positive energy, as I always do. And today, again, I thought I was going to do an introduction to who is Dr. Z, and I've actually done a video that I didn't like. It's sitting up on the computer. I don't know if I'll release it or not. It is educational though, so maybe I will release it at some point in time. But I decided to do away with all the introductory stuff. I'm an MD, I'm a naturopath, a detox specialist, neuropsychiatrist by training, minored in chemistry, and majored in zoology, and I'm now here in Southern California, practicing as a neuropsychiatrist, but it's neuropsychiatrist plus, and also 3 schools of metaphysics. So that's enough of an introduction. It really doesn't matter what I've done. Well, one thing does matter, that I've treated real sick people before, and I've gotten real sick people well. That's what matters, because the reality is we can go to, like I said on my promo video for the super supplement course, there's a lot of quacks out there. There's a lot of doctors who are poorly trained. There's a lot of naturopaths that are poorly trained. And so if you get into their clutches, you're going to end up with really poor health rather than good health. And actually you end up doing yourself more harm than good. And my first tenet, and the reason for doing these videos in the first place, was to stick to the first tenet of healing. And that's first, do no harm. So this is what I really am passionate about getting people from stopping the lifestyle, or stop the food choices, or stopping the vitamin choices, or stopping the thought patterns that actually make you sick. Stop harming yourself first, and then begin to do the right things that actually bring on health, harmony, and super or optimal health. And today, I usually have about 10 elements that I consider essential in developing optimum health, optimum potential, or reaching your genetic potential for health. And I think maybe I'll cover just 5 today, and then the next video I'll cover the other 5. These are basics, these first 5. But remember, sitting atop of everything, which is the most important, is your very own consciousness. I cannot emphasize that enough. It is your very own consciousness, your awareness of who you are, your awareness of what you are, your awareness of what your purpose is, your ability to cope with and deal with stress, your ability not to take life so seriously, your ability to laugh and have fun, and your ability to be able to focus, concentrate with real focus, intention to accomplish tasks as necessary. This is the real key. It really starts here first, because everything I can teach you, if it doesn't click here and here, then you will not take action. And dead knowledge without action, well, I refer to them as educated fools. Really, it's just dead weight. I mean, you have a lot of facts and information and knowledge in your head, but you can't take action because you don't see that light has now gone off to motivate you to take that action. See, once you see things clearly, and that Red Sea opens up, you're going to walk right through, because now you see it, you understand it, and you understand the importance of it. And so my job is really to sort of open you up just enough and then you finish opening yourself up, and then you go ahead and walk that path. But folks, the journey has to start now. It can't start tomorrow. It can't start the next day. It cannot start any time other than now. So, what are the keys I'm going to talk about today? Well, the first one, and this one stands only second to your own consciousness, is detoxification. When we're dealing with health-related issues, and this is what I'm discovering over years and years and years of research, treating patients, etc., getting them well, treating myself, of course, pretty much everything I do for my patients, I do for myself. Everything I preach to my patients, all the knowledge I give to my patients, I also use it on myself. So if I'm not willing to do it to myself and for myself, I don't tell somebody else to do it. That would be, I think, unethical. So detoxification, and it's really about getting the body's sanitation department, or sanitary or cleansing system online and functioning on all cylinders. That means the colon. I read books, the first books I read on naturopathic health were about colon cleansing, about keeping that colon clean. And of course, why? Because there's major waste coming through there. So this is not clean if you're not having regular bowel movements, 1 or 2 a day, soft but fully formed. You're building up toxicity, and you're not releasing waste. Also remember that the lymph system, which takes waste from the interstitial fluid of the between the cells and then brings it into a lymphatic channel, which then brings it into the skin. It can dump it back in the colon. Not enough is said about this. It can dump it back in the colon. Please excuse the background noise. It can dump it back in the colon, and then the colon can excrete it again. So the colon has really 2 forms of getting waste, from the lymphatic system itself and also from the foods that we take in and release. Also there's some that's dumped in from the hepatic system or the liver system as well. I don't want to get too technical at this point. Let's keep things very simple for now. As the videos progress, we'll get more and more focused on the scientific part of things. I don't think a lot of you will take action just based on me saying, hey, this is good, and that's good because I say so. No, you really want the background, so I'll give you the background. I'm going to give you a little mini course on everything that I've taken that I think is worthwhile, and that I think is worth putting up into your brain system, your mind system, and especially the concepts. So the detoxification, the way to look at detoxification is this. The body has its cleansing system, a sanitation department. If we look at in real life, when I say real life, I'm just trying to use a real life example of a toilet bowl that is overflowed. This is the situation where we find most of ourselves. That toilet bowl has overflowed. What is the first rule of getting that toilet bowl functioning again? Certainly you don't keep crapping in it. You don't keep urinating in it. You don't keep putting more waste in it. So the first rule of detoxification is stop putting toxins into your body. The second rule of detoxification, or cleaning that toilet bowl, would be to actually flush that toilet bowl. We use chemicals, we use various things, and certainly when you're detoxifying the body, you can use certain chemicals, but we don't call it chemicals, we call them herbs, and we call them raw foods. And see, these are our cleaning mechanisms. They aid the sanitation department. Of course, you need water, especially clean, pure water, and that would be number 2 on my list. Of course, again, I always put number 1 as consciousness, but that just encompasses everything. I'll continue to bring it up, but I'm not going to put it. I'll put it as number 1 and number 10. All right. So then we'll talk about 8 things in between. So we've already talked about 2: pure water, stop the detoxification process, and detoxify, which is cleanse the body. So we'll then clean that toilet bowl so that it's not overflowing anymore, so it can start to drain. And now what happens is you now start to have a functioning system. Things are no longer backing up. We're no longer dealing with what I will call toxic acidosis from now on. Anytime we get a backup of waste products, be it within the colon, be it within the lymph system, be it intracellular or extracellular, it is always toxic acidosis. Now, it brings me to point number 3, alkalinization. And alkalinization will naturally follow a program of detoxification. But alkalinization has to be understood from an even deeper level. It has to be understood that when you're eating, you have to think about how this has an effect on your pH, or the acid base or acid alkaline phenomenon, or chemistry reactions within the body. We measure it with pH. pH just tells you, is it on the acid side, is it on the base side? And we want to be slightly on the base side of chemistry. Why? Because that is where the money is in health. It's in being able to push your body to the base side of chemistry. And if you aid your body in doing that, because the body has to do it anyway, bloodstream has to remain at 7.365, or as we just say, 7.4. Again, 7.4 is nothing more than a pH scale, so please go look at the pH scale. Between 7 is neutral, 0 is, well, complete acid, and 14 is complete alkaline, completely alkaline. Both extremes will burn you, by the way. So we're not looking for both extremes. We're looking to neutral to then move to the alkaline side. And that's really done really with minerals. And we are mineral deplete. So when we alkalinize with raw foods, with organic fruits, and vegetables, and again, the pure water, then we begin to go after the toxic acidosis. Right? We begin to neutralize the acids. We begin to, now we're flushing the system because of the detoxification. Okay, so now we've got your own consciousness, hydration, detoxification, alkalinization. These are huge. Now, what would be something, let me throw something in the mix that you won't hear a lot of, but it's so important and it's so easily overlooked. And that is sleep. If you're not getting a deep, restful, refreshing sleep on most nights, and I'm talking about 7 to 8 hours worth. I don't think you need 9. Most people can get away with between 6 and 8. 7 and 8 seems to be about average for most people. Myself, 7 to 8 is perfect. I can go on 7. I can go on 6 sometimes, depending on what my stress levels are and how active I've been throughout the week. But I can go on 6 if I need to and function pretty well. But I still feel really my best when I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of deep, restful, uninterrupted sleep. That sleep has to be in a dark room. And sleep has to be in a room where there's not a lot of electronics. Why? Because electronics give off a signal that interfere with natural sleep. It has to be in a room where there are not computers. Or if you have computers, please turn them off. If you go to sleep, you can turn them back on when you wake up. It should be, and this was research, and I have trouble doing this myself because I'm a night owl. And I'm a night owl because this was when I'm working 7 days a week. I have a child. I have a lot of responsibilities. I'm an athlete. I work with kids. I coach. So it makes it very difficult for me to get home early and then be able to do the research, put on these videos, do the writing on the website. Again, that's drzhealingarts.com. Do the writing on the website. Again, keep the knowledge up to date. Redo some of the articles. And by the way, those of you who have not been to the website, drzhealingarts.com, one little tidbit of information, the articles evolve. So let's say I wrote an article on the illusion of disease. I wrote one called Let There Be Light. I wrote one on living in pain and what to do about it, part 1, part 2, and part 3. I've written a couple other articles, one on salt. Those articles, you will read them today and they're saying one thing. And you can come back in 2 or 3 weeks, and if I looked at that article again, and if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that article evolves. I may add something. I may have forgotten something. I may have said this is no longer valid. And so you will see that article actually evolve. It's probably, I'm not going to write a brand new article. The beauty of the web is I can take that article and edit it. I will edit it and make it better. So it's an evolving dynamic. So there may only be 20 articles at any one time on the website. Right now there are only like 5 or 6. But I am continuing to edit, to look at those articles and make them better. So please, when you look at the articles, it's not a stagnant page. It's like the body is not stagnant, the brain is not stagnant, nothing is stagnant. I don't want my articles to be stagnant. I want nothing that I write to be stagnant. This is the problem with the written material, is that it's stagnant. And so just because it was written in a book form, and I'm going to be writing a book, but I'll also have an ebook form, and I'll always be working on that book probably for the rest of my life. So those of you who end up buying the book is not ready, so it's not about buying anything at this point. Everything on the site is free at this point. But the book will be written. A detox program will also be written. That's called Project Detox. The book will be written. There's some links on the web right now that are not working right now because I haven't uploaded the information about the book or Project Detox, and I don't want to get too deep into it here. But remember, one of my most important things about health is detoxification. So I need to be writing about detoxification, but it's a fairly in-depth subject, and I want you to understand toxic acidosis and why we detox, why we're cleaning up, why we're getting that sanitation department to work, that lymphatic system to drain. If I'm saying words, lymphatic system, you don't understand it, just go look at any book, any anatomy book. Go look at, go read about it on any website that deals with anatomy. And the lymphatic system is nothing more than another circulatory system, but that circulatory system contains 70 to 75% of all your fluid. And that particular fluid is acid, and that particular fluid has to find a way out. It's looking for channels out. Dumps to the colon, dumps to the kidneys, dumps to the skin. And we'll talk about other endocrine systems that get involved with that whole eliminative process. So, and those are subject for other videos. What I wanted to say here is sleep between the hours of 10 and 2 in the morning. This seems to be the sweet spot of sleep. And I'm remiss to say I'm not hitting that sweet spot on many, many nights. A lot of nights I don't retire until 2 o'clock in the morning. So I've missed the sweet spot. If I don't have a lot of work to do, if it's mellow, I will try and hit that sweet spot, at least getting to bed 11 and getting at least 3 hours of the sweet spot. But the sweet spot of sleep will be hours of 10 and 2. This is where your circadian rhythm kicks in. This is where that growth hormone is at its highest, and it's where your body is doing the most recuperation and regeneration. Remember, the whole thing about optimum health is not just about cleaning out the body, but it's regeneration. And without sleep, you cannot regenerate. You can't even detox your body without proper sleep, because part of what sleep does is help in the detoxification process. Not mentioned, as you very rarely hear sleep and detoxification mentioned together. But guess what, folks? They should be mentioned together because it is part of the process of how the body does detoxify itself. And so I think deep sleep is also part of the energizing process. It's also part of the rebuilding process. So within sleep, you have a detoxification, energizing, and a cleaning out process that goes on. Also seems to reset the brain, so that the brain is allowed to get rid of negative charges. The thinking, we do it through dreams, and they call it REM sleep, REM. rapid eye movement sleep. This is dream sleep, where we're able to discharge a lot of negative things or work out problems. A lot of times you go to sleep with a problem, and the next day, just out of nowhere, the answer comes to you. You've been struggling with this answer, the following day you couldn't come up with an answer. Well, during sleep and during dream symbolism, the answer came to you, and now you're able to understand it from a subconscious level, and then it rises up to the conscious level. And brings up something good about hypnosis. Those of you who ever had the chance to really study hypnosis or become a clinical hypnotherapist, I highly recommend it. I'm going to get some certification in that area next week. And it's 3 days, 33 hours, and very expensive. I already know how to do it, but again, in this world, your certification, your paper count, so I'll go get the paper. But again, sleep is a form of hypnosis, and that's why I brought that up. They're connected. You're in a sleep trance. It's a form of hypnosis. Do you know people could actually get up in a sleep trance and actually do things? We call them sleepwalkers, and there's a scientific name for that. Won't get into it now, but just to say, sleep is critical, a critical component that is left out of most talks about optimum health. So you must have sleep. What else is important? I'll say nutrification. If you look it up in the dictionary, there's no such word as nutrification. But given my credentials, I think you'll give me a pass on this one. Allow me to use the word nutrification. It's not a word, it should be a word. Of course, nutrification, I'm talking about providing appropriate nutrients, high density, high mineral nutrition to the cells. And how is this done? Very simply, through a raw food diet. I will talk about the raw food diet in a separate video, because I think a lot of you have a misunderstanding of how to really apply the raw food diet. Again, there's a ton of teachers and proponents of the raw food diet on YouTube, but none of them really understand the science behind it. None of them are really getting the message across as to why this is a great detoxifying diet and how you get that nutrient-dense nutrition to your system, especially the minerals. Of course, you'll get your vitamins, your cofactors, your enzymes, and the sun energy. So that brings me to the last one that I want to talk about today, which is light. I have always said, and when I'm writing this book, and I've already written probably 6-7 chapters of the book, the first chapter, and this is why I wrote the article called Let There Be Light, so please go and read that article. But all healing ultimately begins and ends with light. Nothing in this world can happen with light. Nothing in this world can happen with without the light of consciousness, without the light of that thing, the source of all. We refer to it as God. Every culture, every religion has a different word for it, but it is the source of all. It is the light of the entire universe. So we start with that light. Then we have the light of the soul, the light of consciousness. Then we have the light of this world, which really in this plane of existence is the sunlight. And so I'm very, very, very aware of the beauty of the sunlight. Can sunlight do good? Without it, there is no life, but sunlight can do harm. But most of us have gotten so paranoid about the sunlight, and then we're putting on toxic sunscreens. Folks, the sun does not cause cancer. Yes, it can burn you, so you have to be careful that you don't go out and get burned by the sun. And of course, the darker your skin, the less and the more melanin you have, the less problem you're going to have with that. But you have to use your common sense. I do not recommend sunscreen. The sunscreen itself has estrogenic compounds, or what we call fake estrogens, or estrogen mimickers. It is toxic, and some of the latest research I was looking at is saying that it actually can cause skin cancer. Well, it makes sense. You're putting toxins on your skin. And again, I'll say it again, I don't put anything on my skin unless I can eat it. You cannot eat sunscreen. You cannot eat most of the makeups that you're putting on your skin. Especially you women out there. Be careful with the makeup you're putting on your skin. It is toxic. And it can cause a lot of problems, including cancer, and especially skin cancer, which seems to be on the rise, but everybody's blaming it on the sun. No, the sun is not causing skin cancer. Can the sun damage your cell? Yes, if you overdo it and you're out there too long. Listen, you can be out in the sun, you cover up after your skin is exposed to it, but guess what? You can't be healthy unless your skin is exposed to the sun. And you're making vitamin D. And it's vitamin D2. Remember, vitamin D comes in 3 forms, D1, D2, and D3. By the time it gets stored in the skin is D2, which is called cholecalciferol. Don't worry about it if you've never heard that. You may come across that term as you do some research on vitamin D, because it's very important, and it may be one of the only vitamin isolates that I ever recommend to people. You'll normally hear me rail against vitamin isolates because they're usually made wrong. The body can't use it in its proper form. But if you can get active vitamin D3, it's very close to the way the body makes it. So when the sunlight hits your skin, vitamin D2 gets converted to the active form of vitamin D, which is vitamin D3, and then that is involved in a number of different processes, maybe too many to talk about, but the two we understand commonly: immune system function, calcium metabolism. So it is essential that we have light. Remember, Mother Nature union with the sun, positive polarity, sun, Mother Nature, negative polarity. We're not talking about good and bad here, we're talking about polarities. Actually, it's a sexual union. Just like man and woman would have a sexual union and bring forth, the woman will bring forth her progeny, so does the female, Mother Earth or Mother Nature, who's impregnated by the sun energy of Father Sun, bring forth her progeny. And what are her progeny? All of life on this planet, but mostly, what I'm referring to this time, are her little plant, fruits, vegetables, herbs, mushrooms, etc. These are the things that she's bringing forth that everything sustains itself on. Remember, 95% of all land animals, 95% are vegetarians. Did I say you need to be 100% vegetarian? Nope, I never say that. Do I say you need to be on a 100% raw food diet? Nope, never say that. If you are sick and you have a problem, you then must go on at least a 90-day raw food diet. Let's get a little ahead of myself at this point. Let's leave this video with all healing begins and ends with light, and the light we're talking about today is really the sunlight that interacts with Mother Nature. It's really it is a cosmic sexual union. It's a beautiful thing to see, and she brings forth her children, the seed or the seeds of the plants. That seed germinates within her womb, i.e. the soil, and then through a process called germination, the plant grows, still needing water, sunlight, and the soil, and then it goes into the plant. Even as the plant is living, it must still have sun energy, just like we must still have sun energy. Fruits, vegetables, plants, mushrooms, algae, whatever, it has to have sunlight. The process of energetics within the plant world we call photosynthesis. So photosynthesis, again, it's all about light. So let me leave you with these first 4 or 5 elements of healing. They're extremely important. Do not forget about sleep. Remember, sitting atop of everything is your own consciousness, and the only second to your own consciousness is that of detoxification. your consciousness, and then you jump right into detoxification. On part 2 of this video, I'll label it part 1. The first 5 tenets of healing, and then we'll go to part 2, and I will bring up the other tenets of healing. Some of these things you probably never thought about, or I will bring them to you in such a way that it sparks an aha moment. And see, I love aha moments. Aha, that makes sense. Aha, I knew that, but I didn't. It never came to me in that particular way. So now I really have an understanding of it. And that's my job is to get you to get it focused enough, get it into your mindset, and begin to reprogram how you're thinking about health and well-being. If you don't work on reprogramming yourself, i.e. the consciousness, you will never get healthy. So remember that. Light of the mind, light of the world, detoxification, alkalinization, nutrification, sleep, 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 and of course the sunlight. Let's stop here. I hope this video has been informative. Again, part 2 is coming. And I'd like to wish everybody peace, power, prosperity, lots of prosperity, and most of all, love to you and your families. I will see you on the other side of optimum health. And remember, healing is an art. You will find the website at drzhealingarts.com, and really that is the sister to my YouTube channel, and they both will play off each other. They're not separate entities, they actually are interconnected. So please go check that out. You can go sign up to be a member for free. The super supplement course is actually ready. I'm also going to make a plea to and let you guys know I'm putting together a team. It's a business slash treatment team, and I need an IT person. I need a webmaster. I need a business partner. Not right now. I'm not looking to make money. I'm financially set at this point, which is a good thing. This is why I have the opportunity to do this. But eventually, if I'm going to take time away from my normal practice, then I need to be able to at least put myself out into the public forum, go on other radio shows, get onto the TV shows, have time to write the books, have time to write the ebook, to do Project Detox. And so I need a publicist. I need someone who's good at marketing. I'm in the Los Angeles area. Obviously, if I'm going to use you, you're going to need to be in the Los Angeles area, Southern California, because I'm going to need to meet with you. But short of that, I'm calling out to the universe, to you wise people that are tuning into this channel. If you know someone, or if you yourself are interested in becoming part of the team, please let me know. I really am very serious about, and I'm very loyal to, I'm Taurus, the putting together of a team. Everybody will get reimbursed for the time, of course. I don't expect anybody to do anything for free. But I really do need the IT or webmaster guy. I do really need the publicist. I do need someone to get me connected to various radio shows. And if you guys have ideas of radio shows that you've listened to, internet radio shows, public airway radio shows, satellite radio shows, let me know, and I will try and write them letters and actually call their PR department and try and get on those particular radio shows, so you guys can give me some guidance in that respect. But please, I want to really bring on a team. I have some people that I'm looking at right now, but right now it's wide open because this is brand new. So it's a brand new opportunity. It's ground floor, and it's something that's needed right now. People need it right now. Been well received. The 6 hours I just did on the Lennon Honor radio show, you can go check that out. It's got the first 2 hours up on YouTube, and it's got a lot of hits. And that's just me at my rookie coming out party. So things will get more refined. I'll get better. My knowledge will get better. My ability to communicate to you guys will get better. But I need the public exposure more than anything else, because that's really what's going to carry this message forward. It's going to wake up a lot of people. Then the money will follow. The money always follows those who are passionate, those who love what they do, those who are offering something of value. So I don't worry about it per se at this point. Yes, there's always a business aspect to everything. We have to make money. We have to be prosperous. That's why I always say peace, power, and prosperity. Lots of prosperity. So anyone who wants to join or thinks they can help with the marketing, thinks they can help with the website, I'm open to it. Again, this is ground floor. This is all brand new. So this is the time to get involved. Right now, by the time I go into 2014, next year, by next January, I want to have that team pretty much solid in gear, and I want me to be already out there doing a radio talk show at least once a week. I should probably be doing one once a week, and then give you guys access to the recording of those shows as well, through a podcast or through the website. I haven't figured out exactly how to do that yet, but I want you guys to hear when I'm on the radio what I sound like and when I talk about it. When I'm on the radio, I can go for 2 hours and you never have to ask me a question. I just go, because I know what optimum health is about, and I know how to get that message across. So I'm a very easy person to interview. You know, you got to give me one direction to go, and I can take it from there. But you know, as always, should be interplay between the radio talk show host and the guest. So I don't try and take over either. But like I said, I can talk for 2 straight hours. Right now, this video is starting to run over, so I want to go ahead and shut it down. Thank you for watching the video. And like I said, I'll see you on the other side of optimum health. And please do not ignore my plea to build this team. It is a roundful opportunity, and I think everybody who gets involved, and I know it's only going to attract positive people anyway. High consciousness, awaken people in the first place. That's all that we need. It's the type of people that we need. People have some experience, people who are already successful themselves. Come join the team. Of course, I'm not saying come join the team full time and this is your only thing, but I guarantee you within 2 or 3 years, you'll be able to drop everything you're doing. I'll probably be able to drop everything I'm doing and focus just on this, i.e. the education of the public and the fight against ignorance. Thank you very much for allowing me to be your humble servant.